Microsoft didn't buy Pi. It bought the people who built Pi. That single sentence completely reframes one of the most consequential tech moves we saw in early 2024. A lot of folks in the industry looked at Microsoft absorbing all this talent from the AI startup inflection and just thought, oh, it's a standard acqui-hire. They're just grabbing some code, tying up some loose ends. But they totally misread the moment. Microsoft wasn't just acquiring talent. They were actually acquiring a very specific conversational DNA. Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're tracking a really fascinating journey. We're looking at the evolution of a single, highly specific AI philosophy. It's this incredible worldview that has somehow survived across 3 completely distinct eras, 2 continents, and a solid decade of rapidly shifting technology. We're going to see how a core group of visionaries essentially carried their ideas about artificial intelligence from a quiet research lab right into a beloved startup, and finally, directly to the absolute center of Microsoft's massive AI ambition. Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our roadmap for today. First, we'll cover the unexpected migration. Then we'll look at the Forge at DeepMind, the workshop at Inflection, the scale challenge over at Microsoft, and we'll wrap up with Copilot as an orchestrator. Starting us off with Section 1, the unexpected migration, a lineage of talent. So, in early 2024, Mustafa Suleyman, Karine Simonyan, and their core team made this quiet but massive move into Microsoft. And this brilliantly illustrates how a deep-seated AI philosophy got transplanted across 3 very distinct eras. Back in the mid-2010s, DeepMind served as the forge for these ideas. By the early 2020s, Inflection AI acted as their workshop. And now, here in 2024, they've landed at Microsoft AI, which is quite literally a planetary scale platform. This isn't just a history of tech jobs, right? It is the sheer survival of a very specific worldview on how intelligence and alignment should actually be built. Moving on to Section 2, DeepMind, the Forge, Rethinking Intelligence. Think back to the mid-2010s. DeepMind was this peculiar hybrid. It was part research lab, part moonshot factory, and honestly, kind of part philosophical salon. It was literally the kind of place where researchers would casually debate the ethics of artificial consciousness over lunch. And breakthroughs like AlphaGo and WaveNet, well, they proved a specific worldview, that intelligence emerges from interaction. Heavily influenced by their ethics and society group, they believed that alignment is a core design principle. It's not just some bolt-on feature you add at the end. They insisted AI had to be agentic, meaning actually capable of taking independent action to solve problems, while still remaining completely aligned and accessible. To them, behavior mattered just as much as raw mathematical capability. Which brings us to Section 3, Inflection, the workshop. Philosophy becomes product. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the stark contrast it shows. Leaving the lab, the team tried to turn their philosophy into a consumer-grade product, which they called Pi. Pi was optimized to act as a companion. It was slow, voice-first, and created this gentle, ambient, almost tap-on-the-shoulder kind of presence. Meanwhile, the rest of the industry was obsessed with scale. They were building these super-fast, text-first assistants and measuring success purely by tokens per second, which is essentially just how incredibly fast the AI can spit out words. Pi wasn't built to win those breathless speed benchmarks. It was literally built to make you feel heard. But, well, here is the hard truth of the modern AI era. The philosophy was incredibly sound, for sure, and the product, people absolutely loved it. But the economics were just brutal. Training frontier-class AI models, the absolute bleeding edge of the technology, is astronomically expensive. Trying to scale a consumer AI product without a massive, pre-existing distribution platform is almost impossible financially. So, no matter how great the vision was, it hit a very, very hard economic wall. Let's look at Section 4, Microsoft, the Scale Challenge, reconciling intimacy with scale. Because of those brutal economics, the migration happened. Microsoft actually carved out a brand new AI division specifically for this team, reporting directly to CEO Satya Nadella. Their mandate? Rethink the entire AI stack. But this mandate introduces a massive philosophical tension. Just look at this tug of war here. The goal for Pi was to be intimate, but the goal for Copilot is to be universal. Pi optimized for presence and emotional pacing. Copilot has to optimize for productivity and enterprise trust. Pi could afford to have a distinct, even opinionated personality. Copilot, it needs to be highly predictable for corporate compliance officers. Basically, they are tasked with taking the soul of an intimate companion and somehow fitting it into a massive enterprise system. I want you to just sit with this question for a second. How do you build emotional intelligence into a tool that also needs to write Excel formulas? Really think about that. How do you preserve conversational warmth in a system that's primarily busy automating corporate workflows? This is not just a coding problem, it's a profound design problem, and it sits at the absolute center of Microsoft's AI strategy today. And finally, Section 5, Copilot as Orchestrator, the Universal Interface. So the crucial point is that to solve this problem, the team's new vision for Copilot is absolutely not just a slightly better chat window popping up on your screen. That's thinking way too small. They are building an orchestrator. This is an intelligence layer that sits above the operating system. It's meant to navigate your digital environment, delegate tasks, and handle your cognitive overhead. Basically, it takes on the mental burden of organizing your files, scheduling your meetings, and searching for things so you don't have to. It's not a widget sitting beside your work, it's woven systemically through Windows, Office, and Edge to actually understand your intent and act on your behalf. And when you look at it this way, you can see how perfectly this three-part lineage culminates in this exact moment. It's like a giant puzzle coming together. Step 1, DeepMind taught this team how to build systems that can actually reason. Step 2, Inflection taught them how to build systems that relate to humans on a real emotional level. And Step 3, Microsoft provides the massive distribution needed to build systems that truly matter at scale. So, what does this all mean for us? Why does it matter? Billions. That is the number of people whose daily computing experience is about to be shaped by this specific brain trust. This team isn't just pushing out a software update. They are directly shaping how billions of people are going to interact with their machines on a day-to-day basis. Through all three of these eras, the Forge, the Workshop, and the Platform, their ultimate goal for AI has survived totally intact. They want to prove that AI can be powerful without being cold, that it can be genuinely helpful without being robotic or mechanical, and that it can be present in your life without being intrusive. In a way, they're trying to give a massive planetary tech ecosystem a soul. So I want to leave you with this final provocative thought. If this team actually pulls it off, if they successfully weave true emotional intelligence into the fabric of your daily operating system, how will it permanently change your relationship with the computer sitting right in front of you? Think about what it means when your primary tool becomes a genuine collaborator. Thanks for joining me on this explainer. I really hope this helped map out the fascinating journey behind our screens. Stay curious, and I'll catch you on the next one.